Welcome to another episode of Tool. I know, I love that intro.
I'm
It's my
jamming
favorite
on
thing,
your
man.
intro. That was awesome.
Yeah, they're great. We'd love to take credit for that, but we didn't. But welcome to another episode of Total Disruption. I am Dr. Jake Clendenning, and on behalf of the Michael Labersi, I'm here talking with Vance Morris today. Vance, welcome to the show today.
I appreciate it. I hope I didn't disrupt too much there at the beginning. I was rocking along with
No,
your song.
not at all, man. You were rocking out, and I always appreciate that. Mike and I do that all the time. So, Vance is a former birth control factory security guard turned Disney leader, turned bankrupt, out of work executive, turned carpet cleaner, turned successful entrepreneur. Vance helps business owners get, serve, and keep clients for life through creating experiences and response required marketing. So, love that. You've got a diverse background as a lot of the best entrepreneurs do. I love that. So, welcome to the show, man. Tell us a little bit more.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I use the. I lost my train of thought already. We're just getting started. I use the birth control security guard thing because it it gets people woken up. They're like, "What did you just say? Who? You did a what?" And I think it's one of the things when you're trying to cut through the clutter when you're marketing is to say something that people are not expecting to hear. So, I mean, like the title of this show might be Vance Morris, customer experience guy, and then we cut right to security guard at a birth control factory. It gets people listening. So I think it's instructive for a lot of people is to you got to break through that clutter. Here in Maryland, I own 3 home service businesses. Still have them, going on 18 years now. And then I spend about 90 minutes a week on those businesses. So I've got systems and processes and everything, and got a general manager. He runs it, and I'm good to go. And the rest of my time I spend on consulting and coaching with small businesses, primarily on plugging the leaky bucket where customers are leaking out of the business, because we all have them, and so many gurus out there you need more customers, more leads, more leads, more leads. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you need leads to grow. I get it. You need new customers, but your most profitable people are the people you've already served and can serve again. So I don't know. So that's an area that I think just not enough focus is put on by small businesses.
Amen to, and I won't leave it at small businesses. I would go any business. I mean, you can stand there and go, man, why is it so drafty in this house? Oh, the back door is wide open. Oh, I see. That's where all my heating bills are going. And it's the same thing. We talk about it. This is in this spot. You can look at whether this is employee retention, whether this is customer retention, product retention, vendor retention. Pick your thing. How are you serving your current people in such a way? And I have built all of my businesses primarily and foundationally off of referrals. That is where they come from. And I'll tell you why. It's way too bloody hard to go find new people. It's too
Yes,
much
it
like
is.
work to go find brand new customers. So the people that are like, I got to get new leads, more customers, more leads, more customers. You're working way harder,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And their leads are expensive. New
Leads are
customers are
expensive.
expensive. For my home service business, I just got the numbers for November. $136 to get a new customer in the front door. Now, if they only go with my minimum charge, which is $199, that doesn't leave too many pennies left over after I pay the tech and put gas in the tank. But it only costs me $22 a year to keep a customer. So the minute I clean or serve a existing customer, I'm $100 more profitable than if I hadn't done that. And real quick on kind of a ratio I like. So if you went to Disney today, in the parks, 80% of the people there right now have been there before. It's only 20% new. I figure, well, if that ratio is good enough for Disney, it's good enough for me. So that is what we aim for, 80% repeat customers and 20% new to keep the growth going.
Oh, so go figure. You're actually pulling and using a model that somebody else uses that's successful. No way. Because that's
Yeah, way.
heard of. Remarkable that is. Well, all right, so I want to roll back on something here because you touch on it, and I think a lot of, I'm just going to say, business owners as a whole, right? Whether you're entrepreneur, you're small business, medium size, large size, doesn't matter. I don't think they know those numbers.
Mm-mm.
I don't believe they track the what it costs me, because what you just stated was incredibly profound. I don't dig too deep on finances a lot of times, but you're talking about new customer acquisition, $1.36, right? Did I get that one right?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
$136 minimum charge, $1.99, doesn't leave not in there. And now we're talking a existing client reconversions, $22. Understand that, like, this in of itself, like, for those of you that don't like math, this is easy math, guys. Your net in that is, like, if you want to play percentages, it's significant, of the change. And let's talk about the quality of your business, of what it is, and we're going to get more into the marketing piece of this. But, like, your business runs a specific way. Your business runs very similar to like mine runs. Is you're putting your efforts into customer retention, referrals from customer retention. Like, what do your reviews look like online? Like your Yelp reviews, what do they look like? I mean, the picture of your business overall, like, if you were going to grade it, I know I'm going on, but if you're going to grade it
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10, one being, we're barely treading water, 10 being the greatest business has ever lived, where are you grading your businesses right now with regards to that?
Yeah, we're about an 8.9. We always have room for improvement. One of the things that I mean, our Google reviews are great, but one theme runs through everything when we do quality assurance calls. Sometimes they end up as a review, sometimes they don't. What people are amazed at, which then of course amazes me, you guys actually answered your phone. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
God, that
sure.
was my
You
outside laugh. I'm sorry. Yes,
yeah,
amen.
you know, and the other one was you showed up on time. I'm like, well, yeah. Why is this so foreign to people? But my customers are just like, it's amazing to find a company that answers the phone and shows up on time. I haven't even done any service for them, and that's what's happening.
And here's the amazing part for this one. Let's play some more math. How much does it cost you to answer your phone? Almost nothing.
Almost nothing.
How much does it cost you to show up on time? Nothing.
Nothing.
Like, zero investment, and his
Yep.
customers are repeat customers. They cost him $22 in retention and referral versus 136 in new. Like, and I would almost bet you, if I took that set of ratios and I applied it to practically every business out there, they're not different. I bet
No.
you right now, because of this, we've talked about this on other episodes, this lack of trust in the space, right? In any space, whether
Any
you're
space.
doing virtual business, the consumer trust index is way down, way down. So it is significantly more challenging to go get new business than it is to retain and treat your current customers awesome. Like,
Yeah.
word of mouth has always been the best.
Yeah. 100%. But you have to engineer the word of mouth. You have to engineer the customer retention. You can't just hope and pray. I mean, that we've all heard that's not a business plan. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you have to engineer it. So, I ask, and when I'm working with my clients, I'm like, what systems do you have in place? What tactics do you use to keep customers in your fold that keeps them real close to you and keeps the competitors out? Because it's not the customer's job to remember you. It's your job to remind the customers that you exist. And I mean, think about it. I mean, most parents, they have a hard time even remember their kid's birthday. Sometimes they even get my kids' names wrong. I call my daughter the dog's name sometimes, and more out of frustration than memory, but you get the point. It's, to expect a customer to remember, who fixed the plumbing, who cleaned the carpet, that kind of thing, is you're asking way too much of the human brain. you have got to be in front of them consistently and constantly, in various different media, not just online. The Postal Service is still alive out there. They've actually got a better deliverability rate than most email servers. So, they're still around 99%, last I checked. So yeah, you got to focus on that customer retention with a system.
So with that, you're a numbers guy. You might know this number, not because I'm pulling it out of the woodwork here. Like in those conversations, when you sit down with your business owners and you say, "What is your system for retaining customers and giving them this amazing experience?" What percentage can actually even answer that question
Oh, they all look
initially?
at me like I got three heads, every single one of
Mm-hmm.
them. Because I'll ask them, I said, continuing with the numbers theme, I'll say, do you have a budget for your marketing? Most of them will say yes. Say, great. How much of that budget is allocated to customer retention? Invariably, 1% might say they do something like send a quarterly postcard or something, which is better than nothing. But most of them have no clue or nothing set aside to keep the most valuable customers that they already have, and it's the ones that they have. I mean, there's, they people repeat it all the time. They know you, they like you, they trust you. Well, the reason that's repeated so much is because it's true. I mean, those are the easiest people to sell to. You can upsell, cross sell. You got a new program or a new service, and you want to test it out. Existing customers are the place to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's how many books that talk about this. I mean, Raving Fans is one. One of my favorites is this tiny little book. It's about the size of your cell phone. A little tiny book. It's like a 3 by 5. It's called Perk Your Sphere, PERK, and it's got a little coffee stain ring on it. Like 82 pages. Tiny little book that talks about how it is all about this customer retention piece. And I first time I read this book was probably 12 years ago. Awesome little book. Like,
Yeah,
is it on the extremist side of how to do it? Yes, but it gives you a system. It gives you a process. And again, it's a model thing. So let's talk about Disney a little bit.
sure.
So how did Disney teach you to build businesses that run without you? And how are most entrepreneurs screwing this up? Like that's
Yeah.
that's my favorite one. I love this question because I everybody on my show knows I'm about leverage. So I'm curious what you're seeing at Disney, how it runs without them.
Yeah. So one of the first things I learned when I got to Disney, and it wasn't, how to clean the streets or pick up trash or be nice to people. The first thing I really discovered was Disney runs on processes, and they have got a process for everything. You want to change a bus tire, they got a process for it. Carry a tray in a restaurant, they got a process for it. Everything. And what I found is that processes give you freedom. So for the business owner, if you have things systemized and processes mapped out, and I just tell my general manager when I hired him 8 years ago, I was like, look, manage the systems. Don't screw with anything. Just manage the systems. If you got a better idea or you've got an idea, great. We're going to meet once a week, every Friday for an hour. We'll talk about your idea, and then we can see if we can implement it. Um, so they give me freedom to not have to go work in those three businesses. And I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs want to be or try to get to. At Disney as well, that freedom is actually freedom in your brain to be able to do the nice thing. So if you can do your job by rote, I mean, it's just all muscle memory, doing your thing, you now have capacity in your brain to be able to go and do all the nice things that Disney is known for, the swooping in with the autographs or the taking the family picture, all that stuff. If there were no processes or systems, the employees would be much too worried about figuring out what to do on their job and probably ignoring most of the guests. So, I mean, that's how vital systems are. And if you want to put a dollar figure on it, when you go to sell your business, if you have documented systems, you're looking at a 1.5 to a 2.5x multiple increase in the value of your company. If that's not a reason right there to do it, but so yeah,
Well,
that's
for
the
everybody
big thing.
thinking, Yeah, everybody thinking exit strategy. Everybody wants to build something they can sell and and get out of it. Everybody should be thinking exit strategy. Most of us didn't when we got into business. I mean, I can give you the example when I first got into real estate. I said, "Great, I can do real estate till I'm dead." That was my exit strategy. I had to die. Is I can do the whole time. I can show houses. I can list houses. I can do contracts. I can do that forever. I never have to worry about it. I wasn't thinking of building it as a business at the time. And now, from an exit strategy standpoint, that should be the first thing you build is those systems, those processes, those procedure manuals. And like Vance just said, it's a 1.5 to 2.5 multiplier evaluation on your business. If your business is worth $500,000, because you got an amazing database and your people are staying because you have this great referral network that continues to generate. Notice what I'm saying. This great, database without processes, you have a business worth 100,
Yeah.
$500,000. If you get a 2x multiplier, we'll split it down the middle because that's easy math for everybody. You now have a business that's worth $1 million
Yep.
simply because you have processes in place to take care of those, the documented processes. That is worth the creation
Yeah.
in the beginning. So we probably hit it, but like, where are the entrepreneurs totally bombing this? Where are they screwing this up?
I think a lot of it is they are too stuck in the business instead of trying to step back and work on it. I mean, I had the same struggle. Nobody can do it as good as I can, you know,
Well
uh,
said. It.
and it's true probably. But you know what? Somebody doing 80% of my thing versus nobody doing it. Well, 80% is better than nothing. And actually, 80% of me is really good. Not that I'm tooting my own horn, but you get it. And so you've got to be able to, let go a little bit. And then people are always like, I don't have time to do the systems. I don't have time to, do all this documentation. I did it back when there was no little voice recorder on your phone. I had to do it at the end of the day, taking notes from the truck and pounding out all these things. Today, just record yourself doing your job, and then you send it off to Chatty G or your AI of choice and say, make this into a procedure or a process, and doink, it
Mm-hmm.
blasts it out for you. It is so much easier now than it was. There's no reason not to. You can't blame time because that has been taken away now with AI, which, by the way, is a great use of AI. I've got my thoughts on
Oh
other
yeah,
parts, but
SOPs. Oh, you
yeah,
bet. That's a brilliant way to use it.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
agreed.
So, business owners, I think they feel like, oh, I'm going to stifle, creativity by doing it. And you're not. You're telling employees exactly how you want them to behave. I mean, they're working for you, you're paying them. They should do what do what you're told. And it also gives you something to compare when it comes time for annual reviews. You're not comparing Sally to John, saying, oh, John does it this way, you should do it. No, you're comparing Sally to the standard. Here is what our process is, Sally. 90% of the time you do it, and here's the two areas where you need to work on to get to 100%. So these things have just so many uses within a business. I don't understand why more people don't do it.
Well,
Yeah.
there's an easy answer to that one,
Yeah,
but
yeah, there
there's
is,
the
there
one
is.
I hear most recently is, well, I like to be more organic in my business. I like it to just, be more me. I like more freedom. But the reality is, Vance said it, man. Processes give you freedom.
Yeah,
Systems make freedom, plain and simple. And what's funny is the business owners that I see saying that are the ones that are answering their phone at 9 o'clock at night and they're still on their laptops and they're endlessly 7 days a week,
yeah.
16 hours a day working. Um, that's hubris. I mean,
But
they're
see,
they're
systems
saying,
provides consistency, and it will continue to work without you, and that's the key thing. So
that's
if
the
you
key
look at
thing.
one of my customer retention, so I've got a lot of them, but for my home service businesses, uh, we've got like 8 or 9 different marketing campaigns running at any one time in order to keep our customers. I would drive myself if I didn't have a system. I'd be there till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I mean, we take our top 5 customers every month and we send them a cake in the mail. So Maryland has a state cake, in case you didn't know. It's called the Smith Island cake. And Smith Island's just down the road from me. I call them up. So you need 5 cakes, send them here. Great. And then, our top 10 next clients get the fruit basket. I mean, when was the last time you had a carpet cleaner mail you a cake, or anybody mail you a cake for that matter? But then there's the mailings and the emails and the postcards. It's all this. All I got to do, I just push the button on the CRM and everything happens. Now I'm not up till 9 o'clock. Well, I am, but I'm, usually watching Netflix or something.
Doing something else. So no, and it's true. All right, man. What's from a system standpoint, what's the most overlooked system that is quietly sabotaging profits in 90% of service businesses? How'd you flip it and dominate the market?
Yeah, well, we've touched on it quite a bit. It is the retention system that people kind of ignore or leave out. The other thing is your experience system. What is it like to work with you? I hate to break it to people, but we are all commodities. I mean, a dentist is a dentist is a dentist. There's only so many ways to clean teeth. What separates one dentist from another, or a barber, or a carpet cleaner, or whatever? And the only thing that separates them is the experience that you deliver. I mean, if you look at American Girl, I don't know if anybody's got daughters, American Girl. You got to take like a second mortgage out to get one of these things. You go to Walmart and it's $9, right? But you go to American Girl and the base doll starts at $50. And then you got to get outfits. And then American Girl has the longest amount of time people stay in a retail store. The longest, because there's so much to do around this doll. You can go have lunch with your doll. You can get your hair done with your doll. You can go into the photo studio with your doll. You walk out of there, you've dropped $400 or $500 on a doll. You've had a great time, a great experience. And if you went to Walmart, well, you're lucky if the little plastic head doesn't fall off and, it's probably scuffed up by the time you get to the parking lot. That's the difference between experience and commodity. You take the same thing, but it's how you dress it up and how you deliver it and the overall feeling that you give people that makes them continue to come back. And I don't like to get all woo-woo. That's certainly not the mushy stuff I'm trying to talk about, but you do need to create an emotional connection with your customers. If you don't, they are susceptible to other marketing. But if they say, nope, you know what? Nope, Vance is my guy. I ain't going anywhere. Nope, Dr. Jake, he's my guy. I don't. Now you got that emotional connection, and that's more powerful than anything else out there.
And it's the reality is it's so much easier. Like it's when it comes right down to it, as human beings, we're experiential people. We are an experiential being. We are a herd animal. Like you can say you want to do, you could use the words, and we use them all the time, right? We wrote a book on this too about know, like, and trust. And the reality is, yes, you're going to do business with them because when you know them, you like them, and they trust them, you have a relationship with them. When you have an experiential relationship, you're going to keep going back. Yeah, I mean, that's, plain and simple. If you have a bad experience, you're not going back.
Mm-mm.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to do business with that. So that's the absolute truth. All right, give us in the last minute here, what's one thing, and here's before I forget, vancemorris.com. Pretty easy, guys. vancemorris.com to connect with Vance on this. Give us one thing the audience needs to be thinking about today.
It's implementation. So I have one quote. I'm not a big fan of sayings or anything like that, but I have one quote. I live by it, and my clients and my members all know it. It's you won't profit unless you implement. You got to do something. That's the only way you're going to move the needle. Pick one thing you heard today and go and try it out. Maybe it's from this podcast, maybe you read it somewhere, whatever. But if you don't try something new and implement an idea, it's worthless.
You won't profit unless you implement. Vance Morris. You heard it here. Vance, this has been awesome today. Really appreciate you spending time with us. On behalf of my partner, the Michael Labersi, I am Dr. Jake Clendenning. It is your turn to disrupt.